it's Jill Gilliamball again from the Children's Resource Center. I am an infant and early childhood mental health consultant, and I just wanted to give a few quick tips today for taking your young children to the doctor, the dentist, or some sort of medical professional. The first thing you want to do is kind of do some preparation in advance. It can be kind of hard to schedule appointments around maybe if we have work schedules or other children and activities. But really thinking about what time we're scheduling appointment for our young children, we really don't want to bring them for an appointment that might cause some stress or fear or anxiety when they're tired, during those nap times or during meal times. We want to make sure that they're well rested and their bellies are full when we're taking them to their appointments. Definitely, if they've never been to the doctor before, if it's feasible, you could attempt to visit in advance. I know with COVID, there's a lot of restrictions and that might be challenging. But even if you drive by the actual physical building, like the outside of the building, pointing it out and saying that's where Dr. So and so is at. So they have a little bit of frame of reference. Um, what kind of doctor are you choosing? I mean, try to choose doctors that do well with children or have experience in working with children. Talk about it in advance with your young child, so they kind of know what to expect, and always be truthful. If you know what's going to happen, make sure that you're letting them know in advance. Other things, you see on the left here, this picture of this little girl, you could do some role playing with stuffed animals or baby dolls. Get down on the floor and play with your child, and do some role playing just of, listening to your heart or your lungs, taking your temperature, some of those things. So there's a lot of, cute doctor kits and things like that out there. Reading books. This is just one example. There's some really good resources out there, where the children or the characters in the books are going to the doctor, and it kind of talks about those expectations. So that can strike a conversation with you and your child as well. Know that when we go to the doctor, a lot of times we have to wait, whether that's in the waiting room or, waiting in the actual office for the doctor to be ready for us. So, what can we do to kind of occupy our child during those times? They probably are stressed and anxious, maybe a little fearful. They're also kind of co-regulating off of our how we're feeling. So definitely kind of take that into consideration and pack some things to keep them busy, occupy their hands and minds, and little bodies, right? So thinking about those small little toys that maybe you can tuck in the diaper bag, books, if they like to read books, you could sit and read books with them. And also this little boy on the right, he looks like he has some comfort items, and comfort items are so important for young children. So really thinking about, is there a blankie, a stuffed animal, or something that provides comfort to your child, and make sure you're bringing that along. So that's kind of preparing in advance for the doctor. And then at the appointment, for starters, I already mentioned that children are kind of regulating off of our feelings. So really try to remain calm. That's hard to do when you're a mom or your dad, and you know that maybe your baby or your toddler is going to get some shots, or, have some sort of stressful test, some blood drawn. So really trying to use those coping skills for ourselves, and really kind of getting ourselves calm and kind of in a good place can really be helpful for our child. Telling the doctor, the nurses, whoever the medical professionals are, what works for your child, is really helpful. Make sure you're really clear with your child about direction. So tell them what you want them to do. Don't say things like, "Are you ready to go to the doctor now?" Because you might get a nope, I'm not going. So saying things like, "It's time to go to the waiting room," or "You need to step up on the scale now." Give those transition warnings, so we all know kind of as adults that progression when we go to the doctor. We go, we check in. A lot of times we're sitting in the waiting room and we're waiting to get called back. Then they're going to come get us. And then we're going to, do some things maybe with the nurse or a medical technician. And then we wait again. And then we're going to see the doctor. So that's a lot of change and a lot of different things for children when they really don't know what to expect and haven't had a lot of experience. So just saying things like, "We're in the waiting room now. In a little bit, the nurse is going to come and get us," or We're waiting on the doctor now, and you're all finished with the nurse already. You've done a great job. So kind of just letting them know what is coming next. Offer a lot of praise. I just did that in my example, that good job. But saying things like, oh, you stepped up on the scale. We got to see how big you're getting. You did so good. So continue to praise every step along the way. If there's a way for you to offer choices for your child, please do so. There's so much that's out of their control in this type of environment. When they're going to the doctor, it can feel pretty out of control for them. They don't have a lot of choices. So if we can say things like, do you want to sit on my lap, or do you want to sit in this chair by yourself, or do you want to sit next to me? All of those simple choices that we can provide are going to be a way to really kind of help them feel a little bit more in control of the situation. Definitely empathize and comfort your child. So, being that not only calming presence, but comforting presence. If that's, a back rub or holding their hand, giving them a hug after it's over, or just verbalizing, like, I know this is scary, or I know this is hard, but I'm here. And, we're here to keep you safe and healthy, and I'm here. And I can hug you or snuggle you, or all of those different ways that are comforting for our children. After we go, offer some sort of incentive. You see on the right, this kiddo has ice cream. I'm not suggesting that you have to take your child for ice cream after they go to the doctor. This is just one example. It could be a quick trip to the park, or we're going to stop and visit with grandma. And then maybe we're letting grandma know how he did, or, we're calling a favorite aunt or a neighbor, and we're bragging about our child. He did so good in front of him. He let them, take his temperature, and, praising all of those things, because we know when we praise and we acknowledge that, we're going to see more of that type of behavior. So really bragging about your child to other adults in front of them can be really helpful. And I have a really good resource here called Making Life Easier, all about taking your child to the doctor or dentist. Feel free to reach out. This is my email information. You can see here our YouTube channel has hundreds of videos, and also find us on Facebook. We post daily resources for social emotional wellness for young children. Thank you.